Yo guys, welcome back. Today I will show you Snake Eye Fire King, the possible tier 0 deck in the upcoming meta, and how insane this deck really is. So guys, let's take a look at this. As you might already know, we have the Fire King deck and it will get the Snake Eye support cards in a Phantom Nightmare on 8th or 7th of February, and then we will be able to play the complete deck. We have the Bonfire that we have gotten before that on 17th or 18th of January. The Bonfire comes to us in the TCG, and I want to show you the one card combo that consists of the Snake Eye Ash. Important to know here, we will not use the Bonfire. I've only placed the Bonfire here so you can understand that you can also use the Bonfire to search your Snake Eye Ash. You can also use your Bonfire to search the Snake Eye Populace, but I will show you everything in the video. So let's start. We go normal summon the Snake Eye Ash, which we can then activate to add one level 1 fire monster from our deck to our hand. We will add the new Snake Eye Populace, which if this gets added to the hand can special summon itself. That's what we are going to do here. Effect of Populace. To add one Snake Eye spell or trap from your deck to your hand, we are getting the original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye. I made the mistake here of setting it. Obviously, you don't set it here, you are adding it to the hand, but it doesn't really matter, it doesn't make a difference. The next thing you want to do is to go make a Lingoribo with your Populace, and then Populace can activate its second effect in the graveyard to place itself or another fire monster in the spell and trap zone, which is wonderful because with the effect of original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye, we can now tribute this. It's basically a free cost that we can use, a free resource. And obviously we are still missing our level 1 Ponyx, so that's the next thing we are going to do. Activate the Snake Eye spell to summon, special summon from the deck, the Ponyx, which now can search for our basic Fire King place, the Fire King Sanctuary. We are placing the Fire King Sanctuary in the spell and trap zone to directly place the Fire King Island in the field spell zone. So we now have the field spell live here. And now normally in the Fire King line you would pop your Ponyx to search your Garunix, but we can do something else that is quite cool here. We are going to use the Ponyx and also the Lingoribo to make Pit Night Early, and now we are going to use the Fire King Island to destroy Pit Night Early. This is also a fire monster, and the thing that we want to make use of here is the fact that this will during the end phase come back because it was destroyed by Battle or Card Effect this turn. So we will get this back, so this is another free resource that we can use in this deck. We are going to add the Garunix, then we are going to special summon the Garunix, of course, because a monster that was originally fire was destroyed. We can special summon the Garunix from the hand, even if it was not there at the point or from the grave, but then the Garunix had to already been there. We can activate Garunix now to destroy our Kirin, and now Kirin can activate to reborn one of our Fire King monsters from the graveyard or special summon one from the hand. We are going to reborn the Ponyx, and in theory you could also use Kirin's effect to non-target destroy something here, but this is not something we will do, obviously, because our opponent has no cards, because it's our first turn, right? Now we have this board, and now we can make use of the Snake Eye Ash second effect. We have to tribute itself and another card on the field, in this case Garunix, because you always want to get the Garunix into the grave, because then when something that was originally fire gets destroyed, this can resummon and then once again destroy Kirin and wreak havoc. But we will look at this in a moment when we go over to our opponent's turn. So we have used Snake Eye Ash, given away the Ash and the Garunix to summon the boss monster, the Snake Eye Flamberge Dragon, which if this goes to the graveyard, you can choose 2 level 1, I think it's fire monster, or is it 2 level 1 monsters? It's 2 level 1 fire monsters that you can resummon, which you have to have 2. You cannot like only resummon 1, you have to summon 2. This has another effect that it can take a card out of the graveyard and place it in the spell and trap zone, and then it can also special summon the card out of the spell and trap zone. So quite an insane card here. As you can see, you can target one face-up monster on the field or in either graveyard, by the way, place it face up in its owner's spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target one monster card, treat it as a continuous spell on the field, and special summon it to your field. So now we are continuing with the play, and in a moment we will see why this is important. We are going to link both of these off into IP Masquerina, because the Flamberge has hit the graveyard. We can resummon 2 level 1 fires. This is what we are going to do. This happened now. The next thing that is going to happen here is that we will link these away For a Promethean Princess, Bestower of Flames, which now we are firelocked, but this can also resummon a fire monster from the grave. The one that we want to resummon is the Flame Birch Dragon, because now we can use Flame Birch's effect to place the IP Masquerena in the spell and trap zone. So we can, because we will keep this on the field, on our opponent's turn, quick effect, summon this onto the field so we have an IP Masquerena live, which this is really insane because we have used the IP Masquerena to link climb, but we are getting it back for free basically, which is quite insane. So you can't even like imperm this guy if you are the opponent, because I can just chain and then make the effect live and get the IP Masquerena to the board. The next thing we are going to do is that we are going to link away the Promethean Princess and the Snake Eye Ash to go into a Sunlight Wolf. There's also a different play that you can make here if you wanted to. We cannot look at the extra deck at the moment, but you can also in theory use the Promethean Princess and then one of the bodies that you have here to go into an Ambler Whale, which is a link 4 that also enables some plays. But in this case, I will show you something different. We have the Sunlight Wolf, and now we are going to end phase. And in the end phase, the Pit Knight early comes back because it was destroyed by the Fire King Island B4, which triggers our Sunlight Wolf, which gives us back our Kirin. And with this board, we are passing over to our opponent. And as I already said, you could have also gone for the Promethean Princess, revive something, and then use one of the resources here to make an Ambler Whale. So we are passing over to our opponent here, and now we have our interruptions live. And just to like talk about them, what do we have here? So of course we have that we already talked about, the Flame Birch Dragon that can special summon the IP Masquerena. I have some plays that will come in a moment here, but honestly I did some misplays here, so I'm explaining this beforehand. So you can use your Flame Birch Dragon quick effect to summon out your IP Masquerena, and you want to summon her out to the right side of the Pit Knight early, so that when your opponent like summons a monster and you activate your IP Masquerena, you will then also trigger your Pit Knight early, which says when a monster discards points to activate its effect. So the Masquerena here, or you could also summon something else in this zone, but keep in mind that it should be something that you can trigger yourself, and that it's not like the Snake Eye Ash or the Populous or the Ponix is not a trigger effect, but rather a quick effect. Then you can target one effect monster your opponent controls until the end of this turn, change its attack to 0, and also negate its effect. So this is an effect negation that it's a bit clunky because you have to time it right, obviously. We also have the Kirin, which can shoot the Flame Birch Dragon, and if the Flame Birch Dragon gets shot, then it can obviously resummon either a combination of Snake Eye Populous, the Ash, Snake Eye Populous and the Ponix, or the Ash and the Ponix, right? And they can obviously activate their effects because they will be resummoned to the board. Then we also have the Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames in the grave, which if our opponent special summons a monster, we can shoot one of our fire monsters on the field and then destroy. Now I have to look, is it the special summon monster or a special summon monster? One fire monster you could and one monster your opponent controls. Okay, so you don't even have to destroy the special summon monster that enabled the Promethean Princess's effect. You can also destroy something else. And there is an important line to understand, to know, I guess, is that when you destroy, because this says you can target one fire monster you control and one monster your opponent controls, destroy them. And if you do special summon this card, which a lot of people misunderstood that it means I have to destroy them both, because them obviously implies that there have to be two destroyed cards. So the one that the Promethean Princess props on your field and also the one on the opponent's field. But them in this game means at least one. So if, for example, you only pop your own guy or you only pop the opponent's guy because, I don't know, an SP Lidden Light banishes stuff, then this thing will still come back to the board, which is quite nice because this is obviously recursion that you can use on your own turn to once again summon something from the graveyard, a fire monster, maybe your Snake Eyes Flame Birch Dragon. You can resummon it with the Promethean Princess, and then the Flame Birch Dragon could, for example, once again, because we have used it the turn before, set the IP Masquerena from the grave in the spell and trap zone, which this is just insane, the recursion that you get here. And I also mentioned the Kirin, so if something gets popped here on the field, either through the Kirin popping one of your fire monsters or through the Promethean Princess popping one of your fire monsters, then obviously also Garunix will trigger, which then enables you to pop another Kirin from the deck, and the Kirin can then resummon, for example, the Ponix, and also shoot a card on your opponent's field, non-targeting. So just as an example, as I already said, I misplayed this a bit. We are summoning the Kirin, destroying the Flame Birch, and now we are resummoning the 2 level 1 monsters, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Before destroying this, you obviously want to maybe in the draw draw Standby Phase, just use the Flame Burgess effect to summon the IP Masquerena. The other reason why you want to do it in that phase is so you can dodge the Triple Tactics Talents, obviously. So before you do this, the Kirin pop here that I just showed you, make sure that you summon the IP Masquerena in the zone where the Snake Eye Ash is now. And obviously, then you can activate these effects and so on. And the Garunix is also something that would trigger at this moment to be resummoned to the board. And then there are a lot more interruptions and follow-up. And that's quite crazy because remember, we have started with only one card, the Snake Eye Ash, that we could have also used with the Bonfire, search with the Bonfire. So we are basically playing 6 Snake Eye Ashes if you want to like view it that way. So really, really insane, and can be even more insane if you have more cards. There could also be hand trips on your hand, of course. And if you have more stuff that you can use, there can also be more interruptions on the field. So this will probably be the next tier 0 deck here in the TCG, especially when the new Fire King support comes out, though that is quite off in the future. This is not going to happen soon. We will first get the full support from the Phantom Nightmare set. And yeah, I already have invested into the Fire King plus the Wanted Diabelza engine, so I will also get the rest of the stuff and then play this deck at tournaments. My goal is to top a regional this season. That is like the lowest goal that I have. That's something I plan on doing, plan on achieving. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of this deck. Do you like it in terms of like the artworks? I think the cards look really, really nice, especially the Fire King cards and the Diabelza cards. Not the biggest fan of the Snake Eye cards. I am. A lot of people are, though. Let me know in the comments what you think of this combo line. Do you think it's amazing? Do you think it's maybe a bit weak or maybe too strong? Should Konami hit this quite soon? What do you think of the deck? Will it be tier 0 or is it maybe only a tier 1 deck? If you are still here, thanks for being here. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up and the notification bell, and we will see each other in the next one.